Hi, my name is Robbie, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about trauma, and more specifically, adult male trauma, male on male trauma. And the reason I'd like to address this is through my own experience, I have found it almost impossible to find statistics, help, and also support, even through family, friends, and I've really have been dumbfounded that it has been such a challenge, and it's crippling. And I think what has really tripped me up is even finding information through the internet has been a challenge. There is definitely information on survivors of childhood rape, incest, things like that, molestation. There's information on female on male rape. And there's information, tons of information on prison rape. But there isn't very much information that I could find, at least, on adult male on male rape. And I know I'm not alone. I think just with the social stigma that's out there, I know a lot of things just do not get reported. I think the last statistics of male rape has skyrocketed, but the discussion of male on male rape has been very low, and the proportions that have suggested it is a minority only issue is extremely exaggerated. So I figured, what better way, if I'm having the experience, why not open the dialogue? So here I am to do so. For me, even finding a therapist, I don't have insurance, or I have not had insurance. And one thing that could be more traumatizing than the actual trauma is seeing your therapist break down in tears in front of you just hearing your story. So I've had that happen to me with 3 separate people. So not having insurance, you don't always end up with a legit therapist. You end up with interns, things like that. So I am proud to be able to give an education to someone, but there is a certain frustration that comes out of, having someone say they can't handle you, that your situation's too intense. And that leaves you feeling like you're really screwed, where you can't even go to get help from someone, professional help. It really reinforces that, God, you must really be screwed up that a professional can't help you. And I think there really needs to be, in a time, at least here in the States, where there's so many cutbacks. I think that is something that needs to be addressed. And I just don't think there's enough dialogue going on, that there needs to be more information out there for men who are dealing with this situation. So just letting guys know, if you are going through this, you're not alone. If you are having that struggle, finding help, you're not alone. Certainly if you have insurance, I know for a fact it's much easier finding someone. I don't really like using the word, it's not a word I choose to use often, at least, is victim. I think anyone who has experienced any sort of trauma, personal catastrophe in their life, whether it is a death, violence, even war, certainly, really we're all champions in life. We're all making it to the next level. If we're here today, and you really have struggled through something, I don't care if it's a cruddy marriage, you really are championing through your life. So the word victim I really don't use. In my situation, which I'm not going to go into in depth today, but it really was an intense, I could say, a pretty crappy situation. I was gang raped by 11 guys. That was pretty shitty. Really, really harsh and shitty. And it fucked with my head. It fucked with my emotions. It certainly fucked with my body, put me in the hospital for a week. And it led me into a really screwed up world, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, for a number of years. Fortunately, not as bad as it could have been, and certainly not as bad as it has been for other people, and I'm so grateful for that. Man, I'm really fortunate. November 2011, right before Thanksgiving, is when I walked into the wrong place knowingly, and that's when my journey into denial and slamming crystal meth almost on a regular basis began. And following a gang rape or continual rape throughout an evening led me into a hospital, and it was absolutely not by choice, absolutely not hot. A lot of gay men think that gang rape is hot, which may be for you, maybe as far as fantasy. It's great if that's what you enjoy. For me, it was not. And the next few years, and I'm still working out of them, were really, really a frickin' nightmare. And man, I'm grateful to be able to come out of it. I really didn't think I would. But I really don't even know how I did it, because no one really wants to talk about it. No one really wants to hear what they can't handle. No one really wants to hear your story. And I think it's really just because it's more than they can handle. I don't think it's so much that people don't care. I think it's they can't handle hearing something so painful that happened to someone they care about. So, whenever we talk to someone, we're really kind of talking to ourselves. But I'm also telling this to guys who maybe are going through something similar. And it is so difficult telling it to, your partner, your friends, your family, your loved ones. When someone's not listening, what I've learned is sometimes it's just so painful for them to hear and to know how much you suffered. And to maybe look at it a little bit differently. Rather than looking at it as rejection, look at it as they care about you so much that they just can't handle it. I know that seems a little bit backwards. But really, sometimes I know your pain is so great, but they just don't have the capacity. I always think people who have gone through such extremes develop such empathy, compassion, strengths. They develop skills that maybe the average person never does, because you're forced to develop these sensitivities. It's like a parent. It's like a mother who sees a child suffer. I mean, these senses become so aware, and it's the same thing with anyone who goes through a trauma. You become skilled at things that no average person has a need to. They're survival skills, and part of that are sharper emotions, sharper wit, sharper all these things. So it really is very difficult. And I just want to say, it is really, 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 really difficult when you're not finding the help, when you're not finding the ears, when you really feel no one is listening. God, it's so painful. But always hang in there. The thing that saved my life was self-love. I have a dear friend. Seems like the craziest, simplest thing. Learning to love myself, which seems so flaky. It's the only thing that saved my life, really, and got me to where I am. Getting off drugs didn't do it. Going to therapy didn't do it. No one would listen to me. One doctor did. Case manager didn't. No one wants to hear your story, even my dearest friends. But really learning to listen to yourself, you really have all the answers. Being gentle with yourself. All the research that you really need to do is essentially in here. Outside sources can guide you, but all the answers you need are right here. That's the honest truth in my eyes. And I really hope that someday we are at a point where men can talk about these things, where we can actually go to the police when something happens, where we can actually talk about it, where we can actually register it without feeling like, it's our fault. Same thing with women. I'm certainly not discounting anyone else. Rape is still that one really, really weird thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the whole sexual hang-up thing we have here in the States. Everywhere, I guess, the way we're raised. But I don't know. I'll leave it at that. But we all deserve love. We all deserve honesty. We all deserve compassion. We all deserve help. We all deserve support. And we all deserve to be listened to. Absolutely listened to. Listened to, supported, trusted. We all deserve to have someone to trust, to have faith in, to rely on. And with that, I guess I'm going to end. It's the first time I've done anything like this. Just want you all to know that your lives have value, your stories have value, your words are important, and you're absolutely loved, and your lives have so much value. No matter what has happened, you're just at the beginning of your journey, and all of it has value. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Be well.